in my
yeah.
lifetime, when I was younger, I thought about like we have what in England we call a pen pal, where you write to someone and you send
Mhm.
it to another country and maybe you get a message back. And I never did this when I was young, but I heard of it and I was like, oh, that's fascinating. Whereas now I can
Yeah,
go online and I can talk to you in Thailand right now in an instant. You know, we can
it's
connect
even quicker.
unbelievably
Yeah,
far, unbelievably quick. So I feel like I don't want
yeah.
to waste these opportunities to have these connections and to share.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Like because we never spoke before, right? We just had a message, and then, but
No,
we can talk about a lot of stuff. It's amazing,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
No, it's great. I really appreciate it. And it was actually my brother
Yeah.
who sent me your email. He's like, "Oh, you got to check him out." And
Oh,
he was like, he says
great.
he watched your interview on a video on a Viking Samurai. So
Oh, yeah.
I emailed you, but before I even watched this, because my brother and myself, we have
Mhm.
a very strong bond, and when he
Yeah.
says something to me, I know it's good. So I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
great.
if he says the guy is good and he's on a good path, I was like, it will be a great interview. So I was like, ah, so I checked this. I
Oh,
watched you. I
beautiful.
After you said yes, then I went and I checked who you was. I was like, who is he then? Who's my brother sent me? I
Mhm.
know he does martial arts because I saw his YouTube channel had some martial arts.
Mhm.
Um, and
Great.
then I watched your interview on Viking Samurai, and then I was like, oh, it's the guy who does the legs. I remember I was like,
Yeah.
oh, unbelievable. I was really
Yeah.
excited because I was like, oh yeah, I know. Oh, what an interesting story. And I was like, I could see
Yeah.
your path, your development, and I could see that you
Well,
already
thanks.
started to reflect on these events and you appreciated the hardships. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great. He's already doing this, which is such a positive thing, and he's sharing it and he's talking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing. So I was like, I have to speak with him.
Ah, great. Yeah, it's not only kicking. You're right. It's a lot of things behind the scenes, and but at the end, we transform all the energies into life power. And my wife
Mm,
knows it. My wife, she can write a book like
yeah.
what happened to in this business and behind the scenes and with people. And the only thing is there's some people that are a little bit ungrateful. So sometimes you help them and they not appreciate it. So that's a little bit ugly sometimes. But you face all kind of stuff. But on the
Yeah,
other
and like
side, there's also good people who don't do that.
yeah, and like you say, for them ones, it's you acted true to your heart. And if you
Yes,
didn't, you wouldn't
yes.
have been yourself, and that would have been worse.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
So always have good intentions and just see how people respond on that. But if our intentions are good with others, we cannot do more than that. So what
No.
you said was nice about this thing about mistake, right? Like
Yeah.
no, your intentions were good, right?
Yeah.
And if something mistake happens, it's not a mistake because it brought you to the
Yeah.
intentions afterwards.
Yeah,
So
it's only a
that
mistake
was
if you
interesting.
are still living in that moment in regret,
Yeah,
in guilt, in blame, it will stay a mistake until you learn there is a hidden gift and you unwrap the gift and you realize this is
yeah,
giving you a new skill, a new talent, a new perspective
yeah,
that's a benefit on your
yeah,
self-development.
yeah. The thing is the brain. I know we can store a lot in our brain, but some like traumas and the things we don't process yet can take a big space of our brain, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes you really need to clear that space to have more work power, like a computer, right? Like you have RAM,
yeah,
right? Like it takes your RAM. It doesn't only the hard drive. It can take your RAM as well, like the quick
yeah. The speed of
memory.
processing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
if it
like
takes
I said,
from that, like say you think every day it always comes back. This guy who always in your way, or this guy who's always trying to block you or do some funny, right? It's in your quick accessible memory
yeah.
all the time because it always comes back. And it's good to clear that or just let it go
I
or
you know
yeah.
exactly on that. I started writing a book last year that I'm still writing, but it was something that helped me, and it was also motivated by Bruce Lee. And it was like for this, I realized I had repetitive thoughts, so I would
Uh-huh.
spend some time to write down the thought that I had, and I would look through the day and write down the two thoughts that kept coming up the most. And then through the
Yeah.
week, I would check and see, and it's always seems to be the same two thoughts that are bringing you down. So then I looked for the opposite in this
Ah.
thought, and I wrote down next to it, what's the complete opposite? And you know Jeet Kune Do, and it's the way of the intercepting fist.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I call this the way of the intercepting thought. And I challenge myself to come up with intercepting thoughts for every thought that appears that's deconstructive. I will knock it out with an intercepting positive thought as fast as I can and speed that process up to get faster at
That
knocking them thoughts out.
wow,
And this helps me
amazing.
so much.
That's amazing. We just talk about this, and you just having this book about it, like how this is almost like telepathy. This is beautiful,
Mm.
and and the way you the intercepting thought. This is what it. Yeah, this is what it is to counter think
It's the
that
counter
and
strike, you know?
erase those. The counter
And like,
strike.
yeah,
Yeah,
and like I say, Bruce Lee, I remember he's you like you don't need to attack first. You just be prepared for the attack and know how to intercept it the most efficient way, not
yeah,
the most powerful way, whatever's the most efficient.
yeah,
So it's looking for
yeah.
that
Because
efficiency.
yeah, because you in many years for me in movie experience, some things are just like a constant. Like you just
Mm,
know when you do cool stuff, there will be always a reaction, right? Or some jealous
yeah,
people or whatever, right? There's always it comes, and also the good reactions, of course, right? It will be the
yeah,
majority, right? But there's always this. So yeah, we expect it. It's not expect, but it's just a constant. It is there, like and sometimes you're lucky it's not there, but maybe you're not lucky if it's not there. Like you need to deal with it.
yeah. I like the when someone said, I don't know who it's, I think it's maybe a very old quote, but they said, I notice I get luckier the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Wow, wow, yeah. Well, luck. I think it's just circumstances, right? You create it, and
Yeah,
sometimes the timing is good. So it's a combination of things. But if you're already prepared and you're already ready all the time, right? And then you
yeah,
have the right moment, a lot of magic things can happen. And also
yeah,
with movies, there are always movies being made. There's always new opportunities. People need to eat, right? There's always new projects coming. There's always new developments. That's why life is interesting. It doesn't stop,
yeah.
right?
It's in
We
motion,
grow.
so there's always expansion and motion and a thirst for that growth. And like I said, it's for
Yeah,
most people, and what works for me is what's going inwards first, not trying to be constructive externally, but making sure I'm constructing internally. Am I getting
yeah,
balance in my physical body? Am I getting balance in my mind? And then when I work
yeah,
on these, then the external becomes much more balanced, and I can
yeah,
see much more.
yeah, yeah. Because without that, it would be a building without pillars. And the building looks
Yeah,
nice, but there's no foundation.
yeah,
And and that happen. That is actually happening a lot nowadays. Like
yeah.
the,
A
the
little
building
drama
looks
happens,
nice, but
and the building collapse
yeah, yeah, yeah. People
over
not
the
have this.
smallest thing.
Yes, yes, small setbacks, and then they already give up. Like, come on, like it's just nothing. Like, yeah, and it's a little bit mentality, and that's why I think we may be lucky. We're coming from a good period back in the 80s, 90s. Now it's still there, and I have to teach my son as well. Like, not give up, man. Like, come on, right? And say, Papa,
Has he
this
watched?
is.
Has he watched Karate Kid yet?
No, no. I want him to
What?
see it. I want him to see it. He's almost ready for it. Like, he's still
That's
a
what.
bit young, but I want him to
Yeah,
see.
maybe similar.
He
You
would.
said
He
he's
would love
9,
it.
maybe 11, similar age to you. See what happens.
Yeah, yeah, and he start to face some people at school. Like they want to bully a little bit, and it starts already.
Yeah.
So no, no, I want him. He picking up on it. The good thing with my son is I don't push him.
Hmm.
So because if I tell him like now you have to do all these push-ups and punches and stuff, he's not going to like it. So I'm
No.
just be around him, and I have this energy. We play music. I do punches and kicks in the room, and he just picks up on it. He loves it,
Yeah. I think
and
like
he just
there's a
yeah,
difference between the energy of pushing and the energy of
yeah.
pulling. And like I said, you pull things towards you, you like
Ah,
magnetize things towards you, and they gravitate towards you and they want it, especially with children. Like the child wants everything from the father, the mother, you know?
yeah.
They don't need to be told, they just want it. So if you're loving and kind and you just demonstrate, they're gonna follow.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting what you say. Like I never saw it like that in words. Like the pulling
Mm.
factor, not the pushing, the pulling. That's what it
Yeah.
is. That's nice. That's nice when you describe that. And then he comes to me and said, "Papa, look at me." And then he's holding his leg, like
Yeah.
like like wow, Nicky, huh? Like
Yeah.
this is amazing, right, Nicky? You always hold your leg. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's here. He's here. Yeah, beautiful. But yeah, those are great things in life, and that is a surprise because I didn't expect him to do that, right? And he said, "Papa, look," and he was like. showing me something.
Yeah, and
And
like you
this
say, something so
surprise,
beautiful came, and you had no
yeah.
expectation.
Oh, and that's even more
Had-
beautiful. So
Yeah, had you expected him to be able to do this and to hold his leg and to do this, and then he's not doing it, you'd be disappointed.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And some people think automatically my son will be a movie star and will be like that. No, it's up to him, right?
yeah, if
But
that's
I know he likes action because when we fight, we have fun, and that's it. And let's see, let's see.
yeah,
I'm okay as long as he's happy. I love him to be happy, of course. Like he's a kid. I don't want you don't want to see your kids hurt. It hurts more than hurting myself for me.
yeah,
But I know, and we know he's gonna have heartbreaks, a broken heart with some girl. Maybe when he's
yeah,
13, he's gonna be disappointed. He's gonna fail something,
yeah.
right?
Because
It's okay.
I had much heartbreak, but then it took me a while to realize it wasn't broken, but broken open.
Wow,
This is how I see it.
wow, 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 wow. The way you describe things is very good, very beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah, broken open, and even for maybe something else to enter.
yeah,
And then after a second relation or another relation, like wow, else you would have never experienced another love,
yeah. It's very
which
like
is
I see
even
so
better.
many people. They
Yeah,
close things off. They shut down. They don't want to. They've been hurt so much. It's like I just don't want to be hurt
yeah,
again.
yeah,
But then they will also not be loved again, and love is too nice to block
yeah.
off.
Well, I had a guy. He was not my friend, but he was a colleague, and I sadly had to live with this guy, like in
Mm,
the same building. And he always told me because he was hurt by some girl. He said I can never give myself 100% to a girl because I will get hurt. The
yeah,
problem was he always had short relationships because the girl feel the guy doesn't
they
give
know.
everything for them. They
Yeah,
know, and then they go for other options. So he never discovered full love, real love, because he always was in the safe zone for himself. And then people feel that. For me, it's all or nothing. If I fail, I fail, or if it doesn't work with a girl, right? But I give
yeah,
everything because the worst thing is regret. Like, what if
yeah,
I did give everything? Or so you jump or you don't jump, but you cannot jump half. You will fall in the deep.
yeah. It's like
That's
life
what I
itself,
think.
isn't it? You have to give it your all in all moments and keep pushing to
Yeah,
give all. And if you
that's
fail,
it.
that's
Yeah,
just what happens, and you look for something from that to learn to keep going.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it
wanted to
became a
ask you as
pattern. Eh? Uh-huh.
yeah, I wanted to ask you as well. With now, like it's been 18 months, I think, of like the COVID, the lockdown.
Yeah.
How has this affected your life? And like, what do you feel? Have you gained already some gifts from this experience? Has it actually
Yep.
given you something in your life?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like an artist, right? Like for example, Michael
Hmm.
Jackson. You have to make a new CD. I realize you cannot always bring out everything instantly. Sometimes it's good to go back in research and discover more about yourself or develop stuff.
Yeah.
So I developing my style. Recharge. It's a new fighting style, and I really took time to do that. I know I accept it. It's part of the process, and there's less jobs, so we are surviving now. But I see it
Mm.
as the time in the lab, a research time, and after that, the movies I will do are going to use this. So it's like a pimple ready to pop with a lot of new stuff. Because there are people like doing movies, and they do so many movies in 1 year, which is great, but they not have time in between the movies to have new stuff for the next movie, like show new moves or new inspirations. And then
Yeah.
you kind of slowly fade out. It's very dangerous. Like to
But yeah, and same
over, yes, you know
like
what
you
I
say,
mean,
Michael
right?
Jackson. If Michael Jackson, I don't know how many years it was from when he was a child to like 50,
Yeah,
so maybe 40 years he was in the music industry, but he
yeah,
doesn't have 200 albums. It's not free. He didn't keep releasing non-stop.
yeah,
It's like there has to be quality, not
yeah,
quantity.
yeah.
And
I remember,
and
I think it was after Beat It or something. It was like there were like 4 years or something. It was quiet around Michael Jackson. Then he came with Bad and with all those things, like with those new songs for that time. Like there were a few years in between.
yeah,
Like there was quiet for a few years, and then bam, he came with his new album. I think it was Bad or something like Bad. That
yeah,
album, Bad. Or I'm not a big Michael Jackson fan, but I remember it was quiet around him, and then he came like buff, like 12 new songs, and all prepared, and And yeah, sometimes you need to go a little bit back to the roots where you come from,
Yeah,
even if in your motivation, like connect with that and develop stuff and then bring it out again instead of constantly bringing stuff out, because it's
yeah,
gonna be, it's like a punch. Sometimes you have to pull back a little bit to do a harder punch. But if
yeah.
you know what I mean, right? Like
Yeah, if you
it's
just
that
go
kind
full
of
out and
thing.
throw everything all in one go, you might overexert yourself too quick. Because
Yes,
you gotta
yes,
feel the opponent, you gotta feel life, and make smart decisions. Not
yes. And sometimes you even have to reinvent yourself. I had this
yeah,
reinvent of myself. I did a lot of movies fighting a lot of action stars. Couldn't really expose myself because I was always a little bit in the shadows of those guys, which
yeah,
was okay to learn. But at some point, it was enough. And then one guy said, he's just taking hits from those action stars and he don't even show his own stuff. He's just a boxing bag, not more than that. And he will always be. And then I was like, stop. And that was just before COVID.
yeah,
I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm the guy with a dream to play movies as a movie star myself. I'm the boxing bag because maybe I not have an identity. I'm going to make my own style. And I have the moves. Let's start. And I started from scratch, from zero, minus zero, to
yeah,
build like a video game character. And people start to ridicule me, like, oh, you think who you are, and including the guys who told me I was a boxing bag. But now they take it really serious. I stick to it, and it gave me so much because this guy saying this. So I'm so thankful to the guy who told me, put me down, told me I'm a boxing bag, that he kind of triggered me for finding
mm,
myself, because I already have this. But sometimes you need to find yourself again, right?
yeah,
And then reinvent yourself. And that happens to Elvis Presley, for example. Elvis, he did a lot of movies. He did the rock and roll period, then he had movies. He kind of faded away a little bit. Then he came back with his gospel period and with his the songs in the 70s with the tours. Elvis, right? He
mm,
came back. It was literally 1969 was a comeback tour. A comeback tour. He rediscovered himself and in a new jacket, basically. It was like the butterfly in a new skin. The
yeah,
same butterfly, but the skin was matured. and, and that is actually beautiful. Like to do that sometimes, to reinvent yourself. Sometimes it's needed. It's needed to do that. But it doesn't come always without being hurt. Sometimes you need to get hurt to realize it, or you need to have a big event in life to make you realize it, like a big slap in the face. Sometimes,
yeah. And sometimes, like you say, and having the awareness to learn something from it, to like you say, reinvent, to develop, to change, to grow, but to
yeah,
not give up,
yeah.
to not
And
quit.
there's nothing being more alive than creating yourself, creating new things. Just test. If it doesn't work, it's okay, right? 80% you don't see of me what I do, but it doesn't look good, and I 20% is left. But I just love to try, and growing is living. Like once you're still growing, you're still alive, right? Once you stop growing, you start to die,
Yeah.
right? That's like with
That's why
flowers.
I like your sort of catchphrase when you say life is action, because once there's no
Yeah.
action, there's no life. Once there's no movement, no motion, it's like
Mm.
stagnant water. It's like a swamp. It's death.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And my wife said, "What is your life motto?" She said, "You need something like that." I said, "Well,
Mm,
if it is, it's something like life action." Like she said, "Okay, that's a good one." And
yeah,
then I just start to post that. After every post, I just say, "Hey guys, life is action," and it became a saying for life. And now people pick up on it. Like, "Hey Ron, life is action." But it can be with everything. Even when you hug your wife, right? There's also kind of life is action, right?
yeah,
It can be with everything, and that's kind of it's beautiful to create those things. I think be different from the different. We make those mottos, those sayings. And I also say, we spoke about it. I always say, if you give more than you take, you will always keep doing stuff.
yeah.
For
You keep
example,
and
yeah,
everything grows in this way.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Even in business, say you hire me for $100, right? And I give you the value of $120 back. Oh, you would love to give me $100 every time because you get back more and more. You just need the
Mm,
energy to do it, and then it's
yeah,
okay. Give more than you
Yeah.
take, and you will always keep moving.
Yep. Like I say,
Yeah.
and people will notice your experience will change, and you realize
Mm.
people want to give back more because you're not taking so much, so they want to give you more.
At the end, yes, and that's even it's amazing. Like sometimes you just do things right there with a lot of love. Like you just tell the guy, man, come on, come to Thailand, play movies, and later they are in a big position themselves, and they said, Ron, remember when you said that to me? Now I have a project. Now I want you to come to Italy, whatever, and do a movie with me. Now I hire you, and right, and sometimes this happens, and it's beautiful. And of course, we not
Yeah,
expect it, but people don't forget sometimes what you do for them, and that's amazing, but it doesn't have to. But yeah, people don't forget. So I think intentions are great. Just have good
yeah,
intentions with the world, and I know the
and with
world
yourself,
and society, and with
like you
yourself
said,
too. Absolutely, you have to, you have to,
to
you
bring an
have
inner
to,
balance, and like you said, to treat yourself mentally and physically well.
you have to. That's number one. And they always say, even in the airplane, right? Like when there's no oxygen, you have to do the oxygen first on yourself before you can even save your kid,
Yeah,
right? You need to, because if you people don't love themselves, how can you love your wife, for example, right?
yeah,
Like how can you? It will not work. And then some people even blame their wife, like I'm not happy because of you, because you not make me
yeah,
happy. But don't
yeah.
blame,
They
like
set
you're
their
not happy yourself.
yeah, they put the expectation in them that they're meant to fulfill them.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, the really energy power is so strong. When you pay money right, at the cashier, at the, when you pay
Yeah,
money, make a joke with the girl or with the guy who is dealing with you.
yeah.
Make them
Th-
small
th- it-
things. It can
Even just
change
to
life.
smile and say hello to people and to say good
Yeah,
day and to interact and make eye contact and a smile, it's contagious. I
yeah,
like to, if I'm walking and I see someone, I will say like good morning, or I will smile at
yeah.
them and say hello, and their whole body
Oh,
language changes. Their whole
oh,
energy
it's so good.
structure changes.
Yeah, good thing Thailand is
You,
quite vibrational in that. Like when I walk out the building here where I live, right? Ah, how are
yeah,
you? Where you go? And how are you
yeah,
doing? Today have movie again? Like they interested,
yeah.
and
And some
that's
places
nice.
in the cities in London and where was in England, it's very different. No one talks to you. Look away from people. People walk down the street. They're across
Yeah,
the
even
street
look
from you.
away.
They
Yeah,
look away,
and
they get their
probably,
phone out.
yeah. And when you look at them, they might even feel like intruded or something,
Yeah,
penetrated by your look. But you just maybe want to say hello. It's weird, but yeah,
yeah,
that's a little bit sad that those things happen. I always, I'm a happy guy, and the funny thing is, my son is also a very happy guy. So he's always, but of course, he's going to face in life. You're going to face hardships, but if we deal with it and we can always stand up again, like after getting hit, we stand up and
yeah.
stronger. Then it's okay, and he will learn that way. He will accept
I
it that way, and
I
yeah.
used to when I was a teenager, I went boxing for a long time, and I remember saying to my trainer, I said, Should I train that someone should knock me out so I learn to get up?" And he said, "No, we don't do this." And I said, "Yeah, but what?
Oh.
Then if I get knocked out, I know how to stand up." And he did, but I was like, "So someone should knock me out?" And he's like, he wouldn't let it happen. But it's also interesting.
uh
I never got into competitive fighting purely because of Bruce Lee's messages that he's training and fighting not to have a fight. And this stopped me
yeah,
from ever getting into competitive fighting. I just trained for the development and the release of
yeah.
anger.
that that's
And you
that
say,
that's that's okay. Yeah, yeah, I did some competitions in the past, but you're right, to avoid a fight, that is the best thing. And people can show off, and especially these days, and oh, I'm better than you, and but you don't have to. And yeah, an avoided fight is always the best,
yeah,
I think. And but then some people will always say, oh, but this guy is fake or too nice, right? Then you get those things. Like there's always something, and so yeah, so there's always something sometimes. But I better be too nice and avoid a fight than than uh than beat somebody up, or go
yeah,
go to in the wrong way. But I learned to be more direct. So if I don't like, I will tell the people nowadays. I wasn't like that 5 years ago. So I just in the case of saving time for those people as well. So I don't
Yeah.
keep them in the middle. If I said, look, I don't like what you do, say it straight away. And it's very weird for me to do that. I wasn't like that. But I found out it's people kind of accept it. Like, okay, I will work on myself, or and it's my new way now. And
Yeah. Just
yeah, without being
be
rude,
clear
eh?
and direct.
Without being rude.
Yeah,
Clear
clear
and
and direct.
direct. Yeah.
Know
Yeah.
your own truth and intention, and be fine with saying it.
Yeah.
Because
But I
it's not
always
coming from a
say
bad place.
no. But I always say the intention. Like, look, I don't like this, but I just say it because I want you to look good. Or I say it
Yeah.
because I think you this and this. So then it's motivated. And then people can accept it. But yeah, when you try to avoid all that, like conflicts, sometimes I'm getting tired of being lingering around some proxy kind of thoughts. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's just okay. Now I don't want this guy to call me every day like this. Like I had one guy, he want to call me every day and about talking about stuff, and I tell my wife I'm getting tired, right? I don't
Yeah.
want this. So I told him, I said, look, man, this is too much. You call me more than my girlfriend. Like this can't happen, man. Like let's not do this. And I said, sorry, man, I love you, but I think this is not good, And he accepted that. But yeah, because you have to protect your own energy too, right?
Yeah.
Because you cannot always favor yourself away, and that's the problem. Also in movie business or any skill you have, sometimes people try to use the skill, and you start to favor yourself away, and sometimes it's in such a big extent that you not have time anymore to develop yourself, and that's dangerous. So be
Yeah.
careful.
You
Yeah.
made me think of put it like it just popped into my mind just as you said, like about being used. It's about working out when you're being used and useful.
Mm.
And there's a difference.
That, yeah, useful and being used is different. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always try to figure out, like, okay, this is starting to get more like being used and then more useful. Like I always try to figure out, like, okay, this is great, but this is kind of limit, and then I will tell it. But of course I would love to. And like sometimes you're so into the love of the art, you would do everything for free, right? But
Yeah.
like, oh, this movie, okay, I'll do it. I help you with this and this.
Yeah. You're
But
just excited and
yeah, and people know
full of
your
passion.
excitement, but they can use that
But
against
yet
you
there
if
will
you're
be
not.
people that feed off that and feed off like just
Yeah,
they will see how to manipulate it.
yeah. And then I look about feed off and feeding my family. So yeah, my wife is here, my son, and they also need to feel good. They also need to at least pay the bills,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, to find this again balance in that as well is a good thing without being rude or because we have good intentions, but this we have to protect our energy because if we're not strong on ourselves, we cannot serve anyone anyway. Like
Yeah.
we're going to be
And
a
when
problem. Yeah.
do you have and I know you will have, but what's your sort of aspirations and visions for yourself like in 5, 10, 15 years? And what
Okay.
would you like to see in your external self and your internal self?
Okay. I just want to make one very good movie which really have an impact on society, and that's called The Last Fighter. That's my project. So I'm working towards that. That is like a product of my inner life, basically a
Hmm.
product of that. And I would just want to share that with the world. So there's a lot in there in that movie. So that's what I want to do. So bring out this message while bringing good action in the same time.
Yeah.
Um, I want to create this kind of movement like life is action. So I'm already doing it, but it will just grow. And so it's not only like about me, like being this guy, this kicker and
Yeah.
stuff. I even have leg problems, so it's not.
You
I
have
found
what,
out it's
sorry?
not only about kicking. Like I had injuries and stuff, so still
Hmm.
have. So it's not only about kicking. There's more to it, right? So it's this whole movement of life is action, and I actually want to steer towards doing big projects, doing good things for society. Maybe even it's almost like a charity, maybe, or do something very beautiful with this life is action thing, like big events or something, yeah, to do for society, or make them giving balance in martial arts, promote that,
Yeah.
something like that, like
Yeah,
a
I think I
bigger purpose.
yeah, no, that sounds wonderful. I think, yeah, having a project that brings more of the, like you said, the awareness
Mm.
of true martial arts
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
people, and
yeah.
being able for them to see the benefit in their lives, not the benefit in being able to have a fight, but a benefit in actual life,
Yeah.
and it's a structure of life, and a way
Yes.
of living.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Like really, after this, watching this movie, you're gonna overthink life.
Mm.
Martial art is just a vehicle. It could be other things, but to overthink life. What am I doing with my life? Like, and life is precious. So there are some very big events happening in this movie. Like some people will die and other things, and um. So you're gonna overthink. What am I doing right now? Like, am I realizing like what am I doing like in my life, right? And
Yeah,
the way you, if you are
and
selfish or not, or the way you love the people around you, it will make people think. And that's what I
yeah, and
want. And not just shooting people.
that's the power
Yeah,
of a good film, a good movie, is it opens you up to an experience that maybe you've never had, so you're touched in a different way, and you have a new thought, and it should be one that's constructive. And a good movie will do this. It sounds like this is what your intention is, and what you're
yeah,
creating. So I really, I'm looking forward to this project manifesting and
yeah,
happening, and getting to see it.
yeah, yeah. Also, I want to empower people. I want to empower people who not have confidence.
Mm.
Because the good thing is everybody is really unique. Everybody has a different configuration, like a video game, right?
Yeah,
Like, there is the dwarf, there is the elven, there is the hero, there is the all kind of characters. They're all unique their way. Maybe one have more strength, one has more speed, one have more, right? There was this guy at school when I was young. He was like, they called him nerd, and he always went into
yeah,
breaks. He always went home for an hour. This guy was playing pianos at home. He was playing piano. He became a
mm,
famous pianist because he did that so intense. He wasn't a nerd. He was a genius, right?
yeah,
So everybody have something. We just need to realize that. And I want to empower basically everyone. Like, there's something possible. Doesn't only need to be martial art. It can be anything in life. Life is action,
yeah.
and just
No,
just
nice.
do something with that. And don't get bitter or hate on people, or do other things which is preventable if you just find yourself, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
no,
If
that
you
would be
find
real good.
yourself,
Like
yeah, that's the thing.
to connect yourself, and to find
Yeah,
that there's a self there that you love and you appreciate, and you want to shine into the world, you want to give into the world,
yeah,
and create that action, put that life to action. Like you
yeah.
say, life is action. Put yourself to action, make a difference, a positive difference. And people have
Positive
unbelievable
difference.
potential. They just have
Yeah,
been a bit shut down on what they think their potential is. But
yeah, yeah,
we're the only things on this earth that can create. So
yeah.
we already can create. We should be creating goodness. We can.
We can
I think,
absolutely, and it's possible. And I mean, I want to be one of the examples for it. Even being ridiculed by Jackie Chan, right after Who Am I? This movie, in this
yeah.
documentary,
Did he
I people thought
personally
I would
ridicule
quit.
you, or just the documentary? Because I haven't seen the
Yeah,
documentary.
well, he gets a little bit angry in the documentary, and it looks a little bit like that. But he doesn't really ridicule me. But people jump on it like, oh, this guy, this and this, and
Yeah.
it just,
He's an actor who does a little bit of extra acting to make the scene in the documentary.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah, and it's not needed. Like, it's a little bit like, okay, but I took the hit and I accepted, and I just said it straight in the Viking Samurai thing, like what really happened, because
Yeah.
it's, I don't want to blame people for things in my life, but I have to put things straight if it's not right. So I have to say, look, this is how
No,
it went, and they
it's
twisted
fair
some
for you.
events.
Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
showed their perspective. It's fair for you to show yours, you know?
Yes,
You're not trying
exactly,
to
exactly.
you're not trying to give
Yeah,
judgment or say wrong or right. You're just trying to say, well, this is my perspective of what happened, and
yeah,
let someone else decide. What do you really think? I think you've done that well in
yes,
your interview, and anyone watching, they can go on Viking
yeah,
Samurai on YouTube, and they
yeah,
will find your YouTube. Just put Ron
yeah,
Smoorenburg and Viking Samurai, and like I said, I think an
yeah,
hour and a half interview. You cover it very well.
yeah.
Without,
We did
like
it
you said, it
very
didn't make you.
objectively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't make me think that you were trying to in any way belittle Jackie Chan or in any way
No.
attack them. You
Yeah.
just said like there was a drama. It's a
Yeah.
mockumentary. Don't take it too
Yeah.
seriously. But this
Yeah.
is the repercussions of the real life, how this can change
Yeah.
someone's life. And like you said, it had a huge impact. It was very powerful to hear you saying that you couldn't even watch the scene afterwards for
Yeah.
a long time. So to me, I was like, oh, that's really interesting because this had such an impact on his life. And this is why I was so curious. I was like, this must have made him into who he is now, into such a big way. It must be such a gift,
It
like
is at the
this is what
end.
happens.
It is beautiful. It's a beautiful
Yeah,
gift, and I'm actually happy that I'm coming from this road, because now, say I make Last Fire, right, and it gives a message to the audience, and all those 23 years of building that have led to this, then it becomes a beautiful story. You know the ugly duck story? Like first
yeah,
the duck is ugly, right? Actually, he's a swan. He's not even a duck. Like like
yeah.
so he wasn't part of something, but he
He
thought
was,
he would, but he was rejected, and then bam, suddenly he's something else. I think
yeah,
that
and his
that is,
uniqueness gets to shine.
yeah, yeah, indifferent, but it's not in the beginning, and it just
Yeah,
keep going, keep going, keep going, and I believe in it will kind of pay off. It's going toward that. It's just vision on the long term, and some people say, Ron, why you keep going? You're getting older, blah blah blah. I said, no, I'm just starting, and I can
yeah,
feel it. I feel more strong than
and
27. I'm 46 now.
yeah, that's my opinion is if you keep training and you keep working, you actually just get stronger all the way up to you're like 60. But even after
Yeah,
60, you become
yeah,
more mentally strong. If you are keeping an
yeah.
eye on your health and your well-being, your mental strength
Oh,
will increase. Everything
yeah.
increases. But you look at
Look
action
at
stars like
Sylvester Stallone.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you look at ones that aren't even big action stars like Liam Neeson. He done the film Taken, and he was
yeah.
already too old. He was never an action star. Now he can't stop getting action scripts because it done so well, and
Yeah,
it was just a good story,
yeah, yeah.
and it
Great.
moved
Yeah,
people,
yeah. And Van
and I
Damme,
think
Expendables, Schwarzenegger. Look at
yeah,
the okay. Look at the Instagram, but they keep going,
yeah,
and
I think even
that's motivating for me.
yeah, I
That's
think even
motivating.
Morgan Freeman. I think he didn't even make his first like big film until he was like 50 or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now he's like the most famous face and voice. Everyone knows who he is.
yeah.
Yeah,
And being
I
unique,
think
right? Yeah,
yeah, being unique and keep persevering. I think he even lived under the stage in a theater for like in his 30s for some
yeah,
time because he couldn't afford a house, but he wanted to carry on doing acting. And you hear so many of these stories,
right.
and the ones that have made it,
Oh,
and normally they keep going. They don't give up. And there's
yeah,
always the person that says, "Oh, you'll never make it. You haven't made it."
yeah,
And it's like, no, I'm making it, and I'm gonna keep going.
yeah. Those background stories of those actors sometimes, if you really know what's behind the scenes, there are some
Yeah.
big stories sometimes, beautiful stories,
Yes,
hardships
very interesting.
to
Yeah,
overcome. Yeah, it's amazing where they come from sometimes,
yeah. And
and
like you
it's
say,
not
when you
always
see this, it
easy.
gives
Yeah,
a when you find in the struggle, I find it like inspirational to hear stories of people that have. It's not that I want their stardom or their fame.
yeah.
Some people think if you look at a celebrity, oh, you want to be famous. It's like, no, they've just managed to
No,
achieve something in their life when so many others want it. So
yeah,
I want to know what was in their mindset. What did they do? How did they
yeah,
continue? How did they get through any hardships? And
yeah,
you learn from it. You learn from others'
yeah,
experiences, and then you don't have to experience as much yourself.
yeah. I think it was something with Lady Gaga or something, like her background story. They said she was ugly or something with her nose, or there was something like,
Yeah,
they thought, then look at her. Like she became, the way she dresses was unique, right? Lady Gaga, like, she
yeah,
became, okay, now, okay, she's probably getting into some
yeah.
developments.
We
Okay, yeah,
won't
let's
get
talk
this
it like that.
podcast banned, so we will just say
Yeah,
developments. Maybe
developments.
not, maybe
Yeah,
not the best
developments.
self-development.
Yeah, like some other
Yeah,
artists when they get a
yeah,
little bit in control. But yeah, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, we
yeah.
can't talk about that. But when they started out, right, they were still in their very good power, I think. And that was, yeah,
They
that's unique, amazing, amazing.
nearly everyone has had some sort of obstacle, and it was because they did not give up that they persevered and they made something, whatever it is that they wanted. So even if your dream out there is to just have something that someone might consider small, like owning their own home,
Yeah,
it's like then you just don't give up. If even
yeah,
you keep trying for what you want, you don't have to have the biggest thing, the best thing. But if you want it and you feel in your heart that you feel, like you said,
yeah,
feeling is you really want
yeah,
this thing, whatever it is, then you go for it.
yeah. Even if my movie is not possible, I feel it's really going to happen. I already visualized it, so it's going to
Yeah.
happen. But I would already look back on my trainings every day, like say when I'm 80 years old, or 70 or 60, whatever. I would look back on today like, wow, like, this trainings is so cool. In the evening I'm in the parking, I'm dusty, I'm full
Yeah.
of dust. My body is very dirty when I come home. I'm wet, and
And
I
did
just
did you
love it.
write? Did you write the script?
Yes, yes, yes. It took
Yeah.
time to learn,
But I
but yeah,
imagine that you went through like writing that script must have given you a lot of self development, even just writing it,
yeah,
to put pen to
yeah.
paper and to think about so many things, to make the structure. I imagine it improved your life already.
Oh, so many notes. And also in the practical way, like there are some events in there. I really did it in real, like to experience it. Like something with a wheelchair. I went with a girl with a wheelchair in the park and just
Mm.
see what it is to have a girlfriend in a wheelchair. Things like that. And
Yeah,
to really
I will look forward to
experience
that
it.
because I know what that feels like. I
Oh,
had
you
to take my
know.
girlfriend for 1 year. She was in a wheelchair for 1 year before
Yeah,
we went through things. We had to do alternative care to fix it because she was told she would never get out of it. She
yeah,
spent most of the year in the bed, and when I could take her, I'd take her in the wheelchair, and it's hard work.
yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You only know it when you experience it. and
yeah,
and and then you also come to new insights, like, wow, this is actually practical if it's
yeah,
like that, and we can put
yeah.
it in the script because it can also be a joke or it can be something cool or
I really
something we
like that
use
I really like that you practically went out and tested
practically.
it to feel it really, to get a better insight, understanding. It's really interesting and good.
Yeah, like I literally bumped with the wheelchair and then I almost fell down, and so
Yeah,
it can also be a good moment.
yeah,
It can also be a good moment, like you can use it like in a good way, in a funny way, and there's very, it just opens up more, even passages from the Bible. And with
mm,
religion, I'm open for many things, huh? Just many religions, but even in the Bible there's things like the wounded healer, like a concept, the wounded healer. So somebody who is wounded himself or have experienced this is able to heal somebody else better or with more passion because of his inner fire to heal somebody. So, for
yeah,
example, you had this suicidal like experience, right? We have it with your
yeah,
mom and yourself, and if the people have this also this pattern, you might recognize it and you might help people even stronger because you know what it is, right?
yeah.
Like the
That's already
wounded
happened.
healer.
Like I will speak with someone, and then I understand and feel I see where they are, and I've had talks with people who have been suicidal and
Yeah,
changed their mind. Give
yeah,
them hope that it's not always this way. And they needed to know
yeah.
that they needed to hear it from someone that really has been there.
Yeah. So you are a kind of wounded healer. And I'm
Mm.
a kind of wounded healer in maybe in the movie business, like in that
Yeah,
way, right? Like we are in our things. We are kind of wounded healers because we have experienced it and we can heal people and help them with what we experienced.
yeah,
And 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 this is one of those concepts which is just beautiful because those concepts are very old. This happened like thousands of years ago, right? It's the
yeah,
Bible. And so yeah, and there is like the last arrow, sometimes you have just one arrow left to shoot, and you shoot it, and it's a big hit. Or the things like the last arrow. There's a lot of those elements I found, but just reading Bible passages, like wow, this is really last fighter. This is so beautiful, and so yeah, it's a big journey. It's all a big journey,
yeah,
and when you connect the dots, this is beautiful.
yeah. It's beautiful, and like you say, and it's a journey. So if you're focused on the destination, you miss out on the journey, and
Yeah,
keeping
that's
that
bad. That's
excitement.
terrible. Yeah,
You
and
know,
and
Keep-
and lots, especially Instagram, it's very much like, okay, it's a lot about showing, now I can do this, I can do this, a lot of things
yeah,
like I made it this, I made it that. The journey is also cool, yeah. And
yeah,
having made
yeah.
it, don't let people fool you about
You,
that or give you this weird guilt
yeah, you
feeling.
got you got to keep that your own feelings and not live up to others' expectations or what you see in others. Like
No,
you said, the
no.
Instagram world, you see in other people's highlights, their best moments, their best.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not seeing every. You're not seeing. They're not going to take the video when they're having a hard time and a breakdown.
Yeah, 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 of course, of course. So it's not even, yeah, real. So yeah, I had people saying like, "Oh, Ron, we never see your movies in Holland, right?" And then there was a movie coming to Holland. They said, "Okay, now it's in the cinema. You can go and watch." They didn't go.
Oh, nice.
They didn't go and watch. They didn't
Yeah,
want to see it anyway. They just wanted to say something like, "Oh, you're not successful" or something.
yeah,
Like, they just, because they were not successful themselves in their life. They had some, they just disappeared in society, and they were not happy with their life.
Yeah.
Like they really were not happy, and they try to project it on you, and you try to do something. But of course, you can have a normal, I call it normal life, but 9 to 5 life, and be happy as well. It can be also a success for you. Like if you're just happy with your family, it's great.
Yeah,
Family
like you
life, or
say,
you're just happy.
having that
Yeah,
balance, working on having that balance, you can be happy anywhere. You can enjoy
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You know,
But don't
it doesn't
projecting
have.
on others.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're not happy with yourself, like don't fire on others, and like make them feel bad, or be in the way of their dream, or disencourage them. I don't like that.
No.
Like unless it can help them. Like if you say, hey, look, you're acting, you have to really work on it.
Yeah,
If it can
like you
help
say,
them.
positive encouragement, not disencouragement, not
Yes,
you know.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Nice, nice. Hey,
okay,
yeah,
Ron.
nice. Yes.
I was just gonna say I really appreciate your time. It's 2 hours of your time so far.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, all
maybe I
good.
will get you
Yeah.
back on another one another time because I could talk to you for hours, no problem.
Yeah, we know, huh? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Feel free to do. Always
yeah,
good. I always say life is action, and you're always welcome. And I would love to be welcome. I am welcome
yeah.
at your podcast. I love to
Like
talk to you
yeah, when
anytime.
you yeah, I have 12 small questions for you that you can answer. Some of them are one answers, and
Okay,
some of them are you can expand if you want. And I ask everyone that I interview the same 12 questions.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
to understand a little bit more about themselves, and
okay.
just a little bit of fun. Yeah, just yeah. So the first question is, what is
Mhm.
your excited noise? Do you have a noise that you make when you're really excited, or a sound or a word?
An excited noise.
Yeah,
Um, oh, that's a good question.
this is
uh, an excited noise. Maybe like yay or something like that. Like
yeah,
maybe
like
like
you're
that.
yeah, it makes you have to think about when was you last so excited that you just burst with a noise, with sound.
I think it's a lot of different noises. It's like when I'm with my son, especially. Like it's just
Yeah,
crazy stuff, Like just some loud sounds, like wow, like this, like something like okay. When I enter the room, right? I always
mhm.
enter the room as a different character. So my son, there's always a surprise, but it's always different characters. So it's different sounds, but it's always a weird sound.
Yeah,
It's always a weird sound. Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's never normal, to be honest. We're a little bit crazy
perfect,
sometimes. Yeah.
nice.
But
Okay, and if
there are
you
sounds. There are sounds. Yes.
yeah, okay, and if you could only choose one,
Hmm.
what do you prefer, a dog or a cat?
Well, we have a cat, and I would prefer a cat. It's very nice. It's very cute, and a cat is almost like spiritual protector, almost like a
Yeah,
dog maybe as well. But the cat is like it gives me a kind of balance. He's just sitting there, and it is like almost like a Buddha.
yeah, they
It
have
is.
quite good
I don't know.
meditation skills, yeah,
Yes, yes. Just
and a
watching the
calming.
cat. And I think also for my wife, the cat is a very good. Yeah, it's very good.
Oh, nice.
It's almost like a family. It brings the family together almost even more. Like it's a family member.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
nice. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color is blue. It's blue. Because yeah, for some reason it looks good with me. Second
Mm.
color would be black. It's black and dark blue, a little bit dark blue, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Okay, nice.
non-favorite color would be yellow, but the
Yellow.
favorite color is
Okay.
blue and black. Yeah.
Okay. And what excites you creatively, spiritually, and emotionally?
Um, what excites me is life power. It's what excites me is people with passion.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that
What
excites me. People with
what gives
passion.
you the opposite? What turns you off?
People with bad intentions. If they don't show it, but I can
Mm.
feel it, and then it comes out.
Okay.
Like for example, a guy said, "Hey, I want you to have a dinner with me and my family," but actually he just want to figure out what movies are in production right now, just to use
Yeah.
me and my family, just to figure out business. Like I
Like
don't
yeah,
like that.
false
Like
intentions. The
intentions,
secret
wrong
intentions.
intentions. Yeah, wrong
Yeah.
intentions.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
what sound or noise do I love? Well, I love music with a very good melody. When there is harmonic melody, so it's the anti of patterns. So
Yeah.
it's the opposite of that. When a song has a good chorus, like a good song where you jump out of your chair and just
One.
want to train.
Yeah.
That but the
Okay.
opposite
And
can
what's
happen if it's not like that.
yeah? So the opposite would be like you say. What you hate in sound is that, or do you have a
Repetitive.
particular sound that you can't stand?
Like those sometimes you have these trance songs like doom 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 doom, and they
Yeah.
just keep going on for like 12 minutes, and then they just add one sound like chung, 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 and then for another 5 minutes, and say, come on, like can't you be more creative, like.
Yeah.
And it's almost like programming, like getting into this trance state, literally. But it's not my thing. I like more
Okay.
like even the old days, like rock and roll and those. It's people, you just start to stand up and when you want to dance with that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, like it's kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So there's difference, and I
Okay.
pick up on it. I pick
Yeah.
up on it.
Okay.
Hmm.
What's your greatest fear?
Uh, was to lose hair.
Yeah.
To lose hair, and it's very weird. It's very weird. I'm not scared of death, for example. No, I was a little bit worried about my hair and stuff. That was always my image. You would not
Yeah.
think that, but
And
yeah,
now, are
that's a
you
little bit
losing your hair,
personal,
or is it okay?
Well, yes, I did, and I tell you the truth, I did a few implants and stuff,
Mm.
and now it's better, but it's always a little bit like you see your hair falling and stuff, and
I,
it's a kind of fear, like you don't like it, like you're watching the
okay. I,
mirror, and
see,
but now it's okay.
I have really long hair, and I used to have always shaved my head, but now I have really long hair. But I changed.
Hmm.
I noticed a big difference in my hair quality.
Hmm.
From putting every just once a week, I put coconut oil in my hair, on my scalp,
Oh,
and I found this
oh,
makes a big
okay.
difference. To rub the coconut oil in and just leave it in for one day, and this really
Oh,
helped
oh, oh.
put nutrition into the skull, into the scalp,
That's some good advice.
and
Okay, that's it. That's interesting.
and I also changed my shampoo to I only use 100% natural shampoo. It has no chemicals. It's
Yeah, the
just
chemicals are bad, huh?
it's just
Yeah,
made from like different oils and natural substance, like 5 ingredients or something, and it makes such a difference.
yeah, yeah. It's a little bit sensitive with the hair. It's very strange, like because we said we are
Yeah,
spiritual and stuff, and but with the hair, I don't know why. I always had good hair, right? And for me, it's a kind of image for me.
yeah,
And when yeah, it kind of start to lose. It's a little bit sad. Like Van Damme was always my example, right? With the cool hair in the
yeah.
back, strong hairline, right? Like for me, it represents also a little bit strength in being an action guy. And when you start to lose it, you can only be a bad guy probably. But
Yeah, I was gonna say you might look at it a little different if you end up like Hulk Hogan.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You have this
But
style.
yeah, that's a little bit sensitive point for me. I don't know why it shouldn't be, right? Like some people said,
Mhm.
don't worry about it, but that's a little bit sensitive point, and I'm honest about it. Like, okay, but it's okay.
What happens
I did
happens.
some transplant,
But
and it's good. It's good now. I'm okay. I'm very happy with the
yeah,
doctor who did that, and I'm lucky there is this solution. But it's not easy. It's not overnight. It's painful, like the
yeah.
surgeries, and it's not. It's more than one surgery, and it's painful, but but it's worth it. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. What do you challenge about yourself?
I always challenge myself because I know I'm still not living. I'm still not at the max of what I can do.
Yeah.
So I know I can get more out of acting, even my body, more out of producing things, and I know I can do that. I know it's
So
it's it's coming, but I
you
know
like
it's not
you
there yet.
always challenge to develop yourself
Yeah,
to grow in all ways.
yeah, 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 and also as a person or as a mature, right, growing up, certain way of yeah, of acting. I'm just in development, and I
Yeah.
accept it. But I know, because I already played a lot of movies. I know if I can do this in this status, what would it be if I can even improve this and this and this,
Yeah.
right? I could probably. We always say you get what you can carry, right? So a pickup truck can carry a certain amount of boxes, but if you are like a big truck, like a lorry or something, or eight wheel, whatever, you can even carry more. So you get what you can carry, and I just always make my carry capacity a little bigger. I
Yeah,
try
it's like
to.
I say, always that benefit that's different to a vehicle is we can change. We can grow and expand and develop. Like I say,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's very nice. It's very interesting. Like, let's see what happens if I work more on my acting. Let's see what happens if I add more of those kind of moves. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. And it's just great to just figure it out and
Okay.
try. And it's
Yeah.
not desperate. It's different. It's just the hope. It's just hope, and it's just beauty, basically.
Yeah.
It's just creating new paintings and getting better in painting, basically. Like, you have new techniques, and it's like that. It's like
Yeah, it's
that.
good. That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's like that.
And what do you love about yourself?
I love about myself that I have the ability to never give up, and it's
Mm.
very hard to break me in giving up. Like I've seen people quitting around me, even after many years, and people who are very proud and they would almost never quit, but at the end, I am still the one standing. and
Yeah.
and 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 it's always hard to talk about yourself, like what is good about yourself. But this is because of, I think I'm thankful because of the people in my life, like my teachers, my martial art teachers, who gave me this concept, like you can't die. You have to survive. You cannot give up.
Yeah.
Like thankful to my teachers, my martial art teachers. They were kicking me in the stomach. They were walking over my stomach. We were throwing up almost in training,
Yeah.
and they just said you cannot give up, and it that was just what it is.
So good
Sometimes
that
I was the
that
only one at the
stuck.
training.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
sometimes people were scared to go to the training. I was the only one, or me and my
It sounds
friend.
like yes. It sounds like maybe you went to Cobra Kai. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was it
Yeah.
was it was hard. It was hard. No, no, some people didn't even want to show up anymore. It was that
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we were there, like, okay, let's do it. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But
And
of
what do you?
course, not without injuries, or getting hit, or oh no,
Yeah, there's always
oh
going to be. It's like
oh
you can't develop without some of the things that have to happen.
yes, yes. So I have some injuries and some scars and injuries, and that is just like, yeah, that is part of the journey. Without that, it would be weird. Like, it's just, you cannot prevent all of that. Like
Mm.
soccer players, right? They have been playing for 30 years. You get your ankle broken at some point. You get a bad
Yeah.
fall. You cannot avoid that in so many matches, right? So many fights, so many stunts, right? What I did, like, yes, so at some point something is going to happen, and I take it as a part of it. You have to accept
Yeah.
that. Else you can't move. If you don't
Yeah.
accept
There's no.
risk, you can't move.
I was going to say, yeah. There's no rewards without risks. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you got to
yeah.
keep
And
going.
say,
And
yeah, yeah.
what do you love in others?
There's a lot of beauty in others. I love a lot of things in others, even the imperfections.
Mm.
I'm very interested in others, in their background. So I love in others where they come from and what drives them. Like,
Yeah.
I always want to figure it out. Like, what is driving this person? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
I
that's
love
perfect.
in,
That's very
yeah,
clear.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what do you love about animals?
I love about animals that they live in the moment, so they don't think
Mhm.
about the past and the future.
Yeah.
They live in the moment and they really enjoy. The only thing is sometimes they get hungry, so they get this feeling in the moment and they just act on it. But they can be really relaxed, because sometimes humans live too much in the past and the present. Oh, sorry, the
The
future.
future. Yeah.
They don't enjoy the moment. So if we only like animals, we probably can't plan anything. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's just good to just get in that mode to
Be in that
rebalance.
and Yeah, be in
Yeah.
that mode and be free to express yourself, you know?
Yes, yes, yes. And open for everything what happens around you.
Yeah.
Open. Just let it go and flow. It's almost like meditation. What Be more in the moment. That's what animals basically teach me.
Ah, perfect, man. Well, it's been absolutely, that's the last question. It's been absolutely a beauty to talk to you. It's been wonderful to hear more about you and your
Mm,
life. And I
mm.
know that anyone that listens to this will gain a wealth of information from you sharing your experience, even if it's just the
Oh,
ability to share and connect and to talk openly and freely. You talked with an open heart,
oh,
you know, you shared and connected,
yeah.
and it's a beautiful experience. I am privileged to have had this moment with you. This
Well,
and
thank
yeah,
you so
I'm in
much.
gratitude and appreciation for you, brother. It's thank you so much.
Likewise, likewise. I'm also, it's amazing because you also do that. So we can
Mm,
go really, we can talk about everything. And this is
yeah,
great because you also do that, right? It is act
yeah.
react. So it kind of, that's why I said before the interview, remember, like let's
Just
just
let
let
it
it
flow.
flow, right?
If you're
And
open,
it happens.
it
Yeah,
flows.
yeah.
You know,
And that is great.
you have blockages and you close things and you have defenses and stuff up here. Then there's a break in the flow because you're trying to knock down walls. It's not
Yeah,
going to work.
yeah, yeah. And I believe in flow in everything. And I just,
Yeah,
it's very powerful. I'm not comparing myself to Martin Luther King, never, right? But it's different,
yeah,
we different. But that time, that moment he had the speech, it just came, like. Sometimes those things just come. It's almost like there's some kind of guidance or something. I don't know what it
yeah.
is. There's some
They're in
some
a. It's
bigger
like
thing than us.
yeah, they're in a flow of truth, and I think a openness to themselves. And to me, it's the intelligence within the body that digests your food. If I had to consciously think on how to digest a piece of food, I can't even perceive of how, but I can put
Yeah,
it in my own body, and it does it perfectly. You know, and it's
yeah,
you open to that intelligence, and you have unbelievable capabilities in communication, in words, in expression, love, and I think it is that openness.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because even my grammar, right? Like I'm from Holland, my English is not even that perfect. But I'll just flow and I'll just talk and I'll just try to bring it the best way.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's like that. I think that's the best way also for the listener, right? The people, the audience, that
yeah.
they just get some value, like what's really in our hearts. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's just open
important for them.
conversation, no editing, no cutting, no planned. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have questions before and say, "Don't say this, do say this."
No,
You
no,
know,
it's
it's just
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
just let it
Great.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I
Okay.
want to thank you as well, for this.
Thank,
Very good.
yeah, thank you, and thank
Yeah.
you for your wife sitting there patiently. I hope she
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
everything that you said, and
Oh, she's great. She's great. Yeah.
yeah, go
Gonna
have
have a small
a.
wrestle session with my son,
I
before
was just
sleep.
gonna say, I bet now you're gonna go and play with your son.
he's he's ready. He's ready for sure now. He's ready, and it's gonna be some fighting. So probably after we close the phone, for
Yeah,
sure we will be fighting. So expect that. That's something to expect because that's gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah. We'll see how long
Yeah.
it takes him to get to the point where he can beat you. How many years
Oh,
you got?
that's not gonna be long. I think very
Yeah,
soon. He's
yeah,
already locking me sometimes. So yeah, it's
yeah.
fun. It's fun.
Get in.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Just quickly, can you drop? You have a website. I know you're on YouTube under Ron Smoorenburg. Do you
Yes.
have a website or anything?
I had a website. I'm redesigning it. So the
Hmm.
best way to connect me is to find my name, Ron Smoorenburg, with double O, Smoorenburg. And I have a YouTube channel and Facebook. And if there's any questions, I will reply. Like it's not
Yeah.
like, I'm this movie guy, and so no. I will
Yeah, no,
reply
I
and
love
I
that
do
when
it
I
as
saw on your
much as
channel
I can.
that you're
Yes.
active, and I think that's the beauty of the way people can connect now is to be actual active and be able to participate and exchange. You know,
I love it
but
too. And I really appreciate it because it also motivates me. Like it is works. It works both ways. It's really great.
yeah,
And that also, yeah, I want to just share with the people, and I can feel there's a certain need for people
yeah,
as well to keep this motivation up. Don't give up. Come on, like you're 30 years old. It just starts. Some people already want to give up. Like, come on, like
yeah,
reinvent yourself. Let's do it and keep me up to date. Like things like that. Yeah,
yeah. Beautiful, man.
it's cool.
Keep
It's
it
cool.
going, man. Keep it going.
Yeah,
Keep doing
yeah,
exactly what you're doing, and you're just gonna be in even more success than you're in, and you're already making it.
yeah.
So you're doing the right thing, you know. You're on your path. You got a lot of joy,
yeah.
a lot of light, a lot of inspiration, motivation,
Oh
and
yeah.
an open heart. So you're on the right path in my perception, my understanding. And
Yeah, but I
yeah, have
express it also family time, right, is also part of that, and rebalancing,
yeah,
and this is very very important, right? Not to let that go. Like, I know my
yeah,
son, he wants to fight me, right? He's ready, and I know he needs that for himself, before sleep.
yeah.
He's smiling with his sleep. If I look at him in his sleep, right, in bed, like,
He's got
he's
a smile.
smiling, he has a smile on his face. Nah, that's the best
Wonderful.
reward for the parents you can get, right? A
Yeah,
smile on the face of your kids. Nah, that is the best reward for me. We love what we do, and we do what we love, and we love what we do, and that's it. So I can be, yeah, it's amazing because we don't waste time in other things. So we
yeah.
we can really, like, be powerful in what we do. So we do that. I want to say thank you for everything. I think we had a great conversation, and if you need anything from me, always welcome.
Okay, man. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Selfish Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Greenheart, and I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. Just search Luke Greenheart on YouTube, you'll find me. Check out my website, lukegreenheart.com. Have an amazing day, and stay tuned for more episodes. I'll be interviewing guests on their path of self-development, their paths of self, getting to know them in much more intimacy, much more depth, sharing and connecting with all, so we can have a much more blissful, joyful, and productive life together. All right, much love. Have a great day.